Hey guys, it's Naya. Welcome to my polymer clay tips and tricks video. We are going to be going over 5 sections of different tips. And if there's something specific you want to know, the sections will be in the description with a timestamp so you could just jump ahead and watch that section. So the first section is the best kind of clay to use. There are so many different kinds of clays. You will be walking through the art store picking up these different clays and you'll be looking at them and you won't know what you'll be really confused on which one to choose. I am going to go over three kinds of clays that I have used. I have not used all of them. Number 1 is Fimo clay. Now, Fimo clay is pretty strong. It's good to work with when it's soft. Fimo clay tends to be a bit hard and crumbly, so if you do choose to use Fimo clay, I suggest getting some kind of clay softener just to make it easier for you. The second kind of clay I'm going to be talking about is Sculpey. Now, there are tons of brands and clays of Sculpey. I have used 3 and 2. Personally, I wouldn't use Sculpey on its own. It's not very strong, it breaks really easy, but it is good when it is mixed with a stronger clay. Now, the third kind of clay is also Sculpey brand. It is Primo clay and I love it. It is a great consistency. There's a variety of colors. It is pretty strong when it's baked. It is awesome. I love it, and that is the one I would suggest to use. On to section 2 is avoiding your clay getting dirty while you're working with it. I have a mini vacuum, and of course it's not a necessity, okay? I just have it and I enjoy it. A great thing to use is cleaning wipes or some kind of cleaning spray and like a cloth. You want to really make sure that your workspace is super clean. Another thing is getting dirt off of your hands and like the creases of your palms. A good way to do that is getting some translucent clay, rubbing it in between your hands. Doing that, you know? But of course, no matter what you do, stuff is gonna get in your clay. It's really a really freaking good way to get stuff off of your clay, whether black smudges into white, or there's a hair, or there's just some unknown substance. Rubbing alcohol is your friend, okay? Slip on a glove, grab a towel of some sort, and you just put some of the rubbing alcohol on it, and then you gently rub off the thing, and it's magic. This tip is for those that like to use cookie cutters. When you're using cookie cutters and you're cutting just the clay directly and you're like pressing it through, it most likely is going to get stuck to the cookie cutter. Then you have to jab it with like a stick or something to get it out. And a better way to do it is to get a plastic wrap, put it over the clay, stamp like normal, and it will not stick to the cookie cutter. We are going to go over ways you can store your clay. I like to use Ziploc plastic baggie. There are other brands you can use, of course, or some people like to store their clay in these plastic bin things. Just keep in mind, some polymer clay does tend to eat through some plastics, so I suggest testing it on like a plastic that you want to use to see if it eats through it or not. Or of course, you could just leave it out, let it collect dust. Baking your sculptures. Of course, it's gonna be different for everybody. Everybody has a different kind of oven. Maybe some people have the same, I don't know. It really depends on your oven, at what temperature you bake at, and how long you bake for. For me, I go to 250 and bake for 15 minutes. depending on the size of your sculpture. If it's bigger, I bake it at 20 minutes. And honestly, it's at such a low temperature, it doesn't super matter if you over bake it at a low temperature. If it's at a high temperature, of course it's gonna matter. You'll burn stuff. If you're super worried about baking something you're not for sure what to bake it at, you can always take scrap pieces of clay, roll them in a ball, bake them in the oven, see how it comes out. Just like a little test, you know? The next section is what you can paint your polymer clay with. The best paint to use, of course, is acrylic paint. You can also use Posca pens. And lastly, what to glaze your polymer clay with. I like to use this wood varnish. I don't know how the heck to pronounce it, but there it is. I've tried all sorts of glazes and none of them work as well as this one I've tried. The Sculpey brand gloss stuff, after a while it peels off and gets sticky. Do not use nail polish, that'll just get sticky and it could be hazardous as well. I tried acrylic sealers, they'll just turn sticky, so wood varnish, water-based, the best. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like. Even if you don't do clay, I hope you learned something. The links to my Etsy shop and my Instagram will be in the description.